Welcome everyone to another episode of Planet Nomads. We have a recent update, a special update that pays tribute to the Apollo 11 mission. So we have tribute to Apollo 11 and we have a special new mode. So we're going to give that a quick look first and see what it's all about. And oh, yay! Oh, so this is so retro. This reminds me of the game Asteroids. Alright, so we've got that. Oh, I am controlling it. Alright. Fire retro thrusters! Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Obviously, I was not the best one for landing that. Ah, no. Oh, it changes every time, too. Alright, we're just gonna tap it on in. Tap it on in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, taparoo. Oh, no. My thrust. Alright, I didn't fire thrusters fast enough. Can I move away from it? The thrusters are not fast enough for that. And oh. Ah, I'm inside the moon. Oh, of course, now it puts me on the far side of the moon. Like, just make it as difficult as possible. Like, first it's right here, this up here. Now it's like, oh, screw you, you're stuck. So it doesn't seem to have like a gravity effect from the moon quite so much as it is just the trajectory momentum. Maybe it does have a tiny bit of gravity. Ah, no, I'm so close. Of course, it's when I'm supposed to land on the farthest point. Oh, come on, that was it. I had it. I count that as a win. So now we're back on my normal gameplay, forgetting the, retro style Apollo 11 tribute. And what I've done is I've tried to put in some blocks here because I was experimenting a little bit when I placed this down and using the container. I noticed that there's winch attachments not only for the winches here, but the attachments on the base of that. So it made it a lot easier to line it up and pull it into place. But at the same time, it also shifted the entire structure. Now, if I get my vehicle, the one for moving the container, and actually bump into this and just start hitting it, it doesn't want to move. It won't slide. Instead, what it does is starts to lean and then try to fall over. And I've had this one fall over a couple times. So fortunately, I've been making double saves because it seems to just want to overwrite my current save with the autosave now, where it used to be it didn't do that. We also have a change with the new update to our mining equipment. Instead of showing percentage, it shows production yield per hour, or estimated yield per hour. So you see, an hour of gameplay for this, I'm only going to get 131 out of that, 137 out of that. I'm actually going to turn that on because that's just so little. And the same thing there. So I've played a little bit letting it run, trying to get some stuff going. And I would say what I've got in it right now is roughly about 25-30 minutes of production volume now. So it seems like it's a great change, but it actually has imbalanced things a lot. So it is so much slower now to get any real production going, even with the mining rigs, which honestly is going to help in the long run, so you're not ending up with so much stuff that is like it's just unnecessary. But it could also mean at the very beginning, when you are just getting your mining rigs started, trying to get supplies, that you're going to be a little bit lacking in the speed you might want. So we're going to work on increasing my production so I can actually start making more use of the materials I have and give me reason to go get a replenishment. So now that I've got this basic platform built over there and it's lined up to the edge of the original base, house platform. So instead of the extension, it's got that little spot right there it lines up to. But looking at it now and looking at this, I kind of feel like I want to actually build it more over this way and kind of build where this is the central point of the design with basically this being the platform where all the production is, and then it connects to, of course, mining rigs below, and then I build kind of an enclosure around that. So ultimately, instead of having this pad, I have a pad that goes across this area, and that's just a walkway out to here. All right, new platform that it does go a little bit out over the edge here, but at least it gives me a nice centered spot on the railing here. I probably could just, no, I could just move it over. I'll have to redo my my connections for the conveyors, but yeah, I can just move this over. All right, so now I've got it adjusted. I'm going to actually, instead of building the dispenser down like I've been doing on the others, build it to the side, because my plan is to use this as the drop down point for all the mining rigs below. So everything will drop down from here into this little spot. That's the center roughly. So we'll have a trunk that comes down, and I think I can make it. Oh yeah, look at that. One quick, easy piece. And then I can do, as I've done in my previous season, where I just build a little network of connections between all the mining rigs and just have it come over here, and then build down where it's got some kind of visually appealing structure that goes over it, and then we still have some kind of structural support to this column, this part that encompasses everything else. And we go with the first mining rig, which, yeah, tying it into the production chain is causing things to, of course, take a moment to get set up. Oh, and I'm going to have to bring some power out here now, too. And there we go. So, yeah, 10 per hour. It's really dropped the production rate, I would say, with this last update. Yes, it's nice to show the yield, estimated yield. And you see, I've got drilling going, and it's either immediately pulling out the materials, which I think is unlikely, or it's just the percentage is now being calculated more correctly. So it's like, okay, roll the dice, you've got a 4% chance of actually collecting one of these, and that's making it so much slower looking now than it was previously. All right, so I split things off because I started thinking about the fact if I start to run out of space because of so much iron, silicon, carbon production from here being just constant, that I won't be able to turn off the mining rigs. So I have the mining rigs, which are going to be nice and red, and then I'm going to do like a blue theme for the main production area and the building. So I have production power and mining power, which will help in keeping things nice and easy to control. Not quite as segmented as I did in my previous base build on the first season, but it still is going to work at least for what I need, and everything else can be adjusted around that. So I have a total of 7 mining rigs right now. I may extend another one over there because it does have kind of an edge that it might get a little bit. I don't think I'm gonna get much from that side. You see just how much better the iron and carbon is than silicon, which is actually nice because I always ended up with a lot of extra silicon. And you see, apparently I am using up a bunch of carbon because the iron stacked over there. I'm pretty sure it didn't get so high that it was 2 stacks of iron before it started getting full, because those are, yep, there's some carbon. So you can see iron's getting pulled from there. Maybe it was silicon in the other one. That I don't think I have anything building using silicon, but yeah, that 10 per hour is not going to help a lot. So I may end up needing to just turn it on for like the secondary site, the one with the cobalt, aluminum, silver, let it also gather up silicon from there, so I have a little bit more of a stockpile from it when I bring that back and drop it in here, hopefully without it shifting too much. If that doesn't work, I'm thinking I'm going to end up just, instead of producing one from the workshop with the replicator, I'm going to take the same design and, well, without the, well, yeah, with the winches, because it makes it easier to dock everything. I'm just going to end up building it over here and just build it myself coming up from there, so everything is tied directly in. I won't use these because I won't need them. It'll be just basically build the structure from scratch to have it done like this, and I may even skip like the extra lights or do the lights a little differently on my variation. But I feel like for this one I want to build my own there, and then once I've got that built, build a replacement for that one just because I don't like the idea of it shifting. And as I said, just trying to move it into better position, I've caused it to not slide, but just tip over instead a couple of times. So I've got kind of a general idea going. I want this kind of rounded corner shape so I can have it kind of do like a staggered kind of, I guess, ridged look to it. And so of course I want to have a nice looking doorway, which we need a real door for. So you see I've got this kind of going. That's pretty much to cover up the gap like that, using that little piece. And I'm not 100% sold on it yet, but that at least gives me something in here. And then I'm going to do something coming from this side a little differently. I don't want to have it kind of exactly like that. I might do, actually, that's where I could do maybe do this, but move it in and kind of cover up that side so that I can line everything up, and then have to come over here and do the exact same thing on this side. That might work. Might work. We'll see. I'm gonna give it a try real quick. And that doesn't work. Actually makes it a little bit worse because you see I'm coming from there and I've got two, like just the same amount on each side. So if I move one, it will fit. But some of these things are just not placed at the right width to give you the, you know, design control that you might want with this game. Like, oh, there we go, perfect. So no gap on the edge. It's just gonna show that, which means really I need to take these out, and I'm just gonna have to do something different on the sides here because I do not want that gap showing. Well, it's not as pretty as I would like it to be. It does at least give some kind of smoothness to the form, but more importantly, it means it fits right. And now I should be able to, I get this to rotate right, and it stops stuttering. Now is, I guess it's because of the lag from the extra stuff in the production chain, or I don't know at this point. It's getting hard to tell what really is the problem in the game now, and that just does not line up there, because that means I'm going to have a gap there. Okay, so I've gone with just this setup for now. I'll try to pretty up the outside later. I'll probably end up rearranging the entire inside later at some point. But what I want to do is, instead of having them on the floor, I want to have kind of like them arranged a little differently. I want to have it where they're kind of hanging. Well, I may actually replace that light too. I get the hang there? No. Well, that's, well, that wall set is not going to work anyway. So yeah, let's just take it all out again. Well, I was going to go with the blue, but honestly, I'm not sold on that now. It kind of gives almost the wrong color look to me. I feel like we should have a slightly darker blue color as an option. And apparently it's giving me some problems targeting that one block right there. Like, really? Like, there we go. Finally. That means I also targeted these over and over again. Yeah, I'll go with the blue and probably end up changing it later, but I feel like we should have a little bit wider range of color palette, or at least give us the option to set our own colors and save them. So the problem I'm running into now is I cannot put a block here because of this wall piece, because of the way it hangs out. You see how much it's stuttering? It's just randomly doing it. I'll place half the row down and it won't stutter, and then I'll place down one block and it suddenly wants to stutter for 10 seconds. Now it's just getting really random now with the stuttering on this, and I'll just build some kind of enclosure on this part coming off the front of this later. That'll make that work. But at least I have something to base everything around. So the idea being that I want them hanging on the wall, so it's kind of like it's up above everything. And I don't want it to be super low. I don't want it to be super high either. I want it to have some kind of placement options. So we'll do like here for now. So I can get at least something done with the conveyor system for it. And so I've got these. The conveyors will come up from the floor, and we'll do a higher. Instead of doing the trunk all along the floor, I want it to be just below. So I'm thinking I can get away with this one. Do it like that. So then this would feed off and, you know, feed upwards to each one as they are built in place. Let's try lining this one up. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that would be tied. That is not tied to the conveyor system. Okay, so I'm going to have to redo this. There we go. Now it's connected. So then I'll just trunk over here. So basically, yeah, there's a little bit of a spot where I can see in with, you know, the windows, and you'll be able to see like some of the what's going on. I don't know if I want to do the full windows like this kind up here, either tall or long. I'm not sure which one I would want to do. If I did it, it'd probably be like this, you know, just to show that, and then have another row up above bracing for those. Because I do want to have quite a few of the 3D printers here. Because I do want to be able to produce a lot of stuff. And I'll probably throw in a couple of refineries at some point. Maybe along the back edge. So it'll be like this. Connects across, and that's the, like, you know, 3 refineries just for helping to handle uranium and stuff like that. As opposed to other stuff. Because I'm thinking I want to put armory and medical inside. Since I'm not going to be producing in such a large quantity on that. And that will end up working a little bit better for me. And I'll just have to, yeah, get rid of that. Actually, that means I could pretty much just do this. Kind of. Wow, that takes so much longer to build. No, that does not work from right there. Oh, it's because it switched me to my other tool. Yeah, okay. That's why it's taking so much longer. There we go. And, well, no, we're going black on that. The outside version. No, it's the same on either side, so I just have to enclose that now. So that will work. At least a little bit better. Oh, actually, I went too far back. Alright, so everything is connected in on this side after it took a full 2 minutes to place the last piece of conveyor there and tie in my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 3D printers on just this one side. They have power. They are ready to go. And basically, I put some lights in here so it's all nice and lit up. The idea being that once I have everything in place, I want to turn off production. It's just bam, production is off. And all of the lights will turn off too at the same point. But mining will still be able to keep going. And it won't be a problem. That way I still have production here. Is all tied in separately. See, I'm actually getting a decent amount of production going. But I've got 5 3D printers over there. Now I've got 8 here. I'll put another 8 on this side. So when I walk in, it'll be just printer, 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 printer. Probably like 2 refineries here and then printers. So really the inside's not going to be all that cosmetic in terms of the looks. It's more about the function. And that means really I'm just going to play with cosmetics on the outside, make it look a little bit better. And that means I'm also probably going to take this out and just build wall sections going up instead. And yeah, I've got a gap on each side, so that's perfect. Gives me some room to play with a little decorative type stuff. I need to take out both of the end glass windows and fill in that a little bit so that I have something there to cover it up. And then, of course, do the same exact thing on this side. But now that I've got it worked out a little bit better, that does help. And, oh, you know what? I said I was going to do a continuing roll around. Hopefully this is not going to take 2 minutes for it to process this. And there we go. It didn't take a full 2 minutes this time to disconnect that one part, but it was about 45 seconds for that to disconnect. So I've got that there. I'll end up bringing it over when I figure out how I want to handle the outside here. It's probably going to be these pieces and just have it kind of covered up where I'm not going to see it on the inside as much. And yeah, that's probably how it's going to happen. I'll still be playing with it a bit more, and hopefully the stuttering is going to get better, because the increased stuttering with this update has made this take a lot longer than it should have previously. So hopefully that's just something in the update that they're going to be fixing. Let's see how this looks with some blue in there. I might do something like that where I do an intermix of blue and black striping. If I do that, I'll keep it like wider bands instead of narrow. But yeah, I'm going to be playing with that this week, trying to get everything done on this part, at least on this floor. I don't think I'm going to need a second floor, honestly. I feel like this is enough. 16 3D printers and a couple of refineries just for processing things like the uranium. That should be more than enough. 7 new mining rigs, which will help compensate for the much slower production speed that we have now. I know I missed a couple of those. There we go. I did do a little bit of a blue fringe on it. I'm probably going to redo the whole thing in blue just to make it look a little bit nicer cosmetically for when you're walking up. But yeah, that is pretty much where I'm at now. I'm going to have to mess with that, and then it's just really going to be the cosmetics, because the mining rigs really just need open air. I don't really have to do anything in terms of internal stuff. That's done. All I have to do is instead build a shell around the whole thing and make sure it kind of embeds into the ground, so it's got structural support, and get rid of any need for like a leg strut like I've done in the past for there, like I've got right there. So yeah, a lot of playing with the cosmetics is what I'm gonna be doing now, but at least I have these going. All right, so that's it for this episode of Planet Nomads. If you enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, I'm your host, Mr. Spicy. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to keep it spicy this week, and I will see you in the next video.